Listen to Alvin and the Chipmunks
shaking.
version of this book.
Too much information.
It's just a rapid reader. Yeah.
Have you watched Tiger King Quebblecop?
No.
Oh, damn, dude. You had Corona. You had plenty of time.
Yeah, no excuse.
I still work with Corona, guys.
Yeah, you took a day off. We know damn well you did. You should have been
I
consuming
did
media.
today. I did today. Yeah.
It's the #1 show in the world. It's
Hysterical.
It's
What's it
hysterical.
called?
Tiger King on
Tiger
Netflix.
King. I feel like no one's calling it out for what it is, right? A derivative of Game of Thrones. The
Okay, I'm gonna watch this.
yeah,
They are birds of a feather.
okay, well, there's the part where the father died, obviously a copy of what Ned Stark did. There's the part where Simba joins the Night Watch, off with Pumbaa and the other cat, I forget.
That's the Lion King. God damn it!
The animation is dated.
I didn't see where you were going.
songs
I'm
are
an
great.
idiot. I like that monkey. I like Rafiki.
Anyway, Tiger
I
King.
I finished the series,
Mhm.
and I mean, there are so many memes
Spoiler
going
free?
around with this show
Spoiler
right
free. Here's
now
the
that
thing,
like it's impossible to get it spoiled. Really,
So it's a documentary. It's following these people in America who own roadside zoos. This may be a foreign concept to you, but in my country, we have many freedoms.
I'm not surprised.
And for $2,000 dues, you can purchase yourself a fucking tiger. And what happens after that is no one's concern but yours and your neighbors.
you just have a tiger.
Can you feed it?
Let's go,
Who
America.
knows?
Let's go.
Are you trained to handle tigers? Who cares? Do you have $2,000, sir? That is my only question. And you can get yourself a fucking tiger. And these people essentially, it's following a group of different people all around the United States: Oklahoma, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Tampa, Florida, and there's a gun-toting, mullet-having country singer homosexual who's into polygamy, has 250 tigers, owns a ranch where he has felons and crackheads living in squalor, and that's all one person.
Kyle nailed it. I was like, don't forget in my head, don't forget.
That's one
He
person.
nailed it.
It's incredible. And he's in this.
Can you go through that list again?
I can try. He is a gun-toting homosexual redneck with a mullet, country singer, polygamist, owns 250 tigers, country music singing.
You said gay, I'm sure.
Did we do
Yeah,
polygamist again? He's amazing.
He hires felons, keeps them in squalor, pays them $100 a week, and feeds them off of the same truck he feeds the tigers.
When he
Which
heard
is
about
expired Walmart meat.
when he heard
expired
about the
Walmart.
meth head stuck at the bus station and thought, "Ooh, I might find an employee here." She has no place to go.
There, I did a lot of research this week about the show. I saw an AMA with someone who used to work with Joe Exotic, and he defended the whole like paying these guys very little amount of money. He's like, hey, that $100 or $150, whatever it is, that's what you start out at. You've got to keep in mind these people are felons right out of prison with drug problems. You can't open them up with a $500, $600 a week like salary. They're going to take it, spend it all on drugs, and probably kill themselves right away. So you've got to like see who's going to be a loyal, dependable employee. He's like, when I worked there, those trailers were pretty nice. It did not look like that. I started out at $150 a week. I worked my way up to $600 a week, and because you have no cost there because he's feeding you, he's handling your room and board, and you stay busy, so you stay away from drugs for the most part. He said, at least I did. I left there ahead in life. It was a good experience for him. He was very honest about the nonsense that goes on there as well, though. The man has 2 husbands who are both straight men.
That was the craziest part. That was the
crazy.
crazy when Kyle laid it
How does
out.
that work?
All right, Joe Exotic is the star of our show, and he's gay. And he sees this guy come in, and he's an attractive guy. He's younger. He's fit. He's tall. He's athletic. And he's like, are you straight or gay? And the guy says, I'm straight. And he goes, huh. When you watch porn, do you like to see a small dick having sex with the woman or a big hog? And the guy says, well, I guess I prefer a bigger dick. And he goes, well, you're not that straight. And with a little bit of time, they're fucking. Now, how does it really work? He supplies their drugs. These guys are pretty much gay for pay, but they marry him. You know, they're like they have a wedding.
He had a three-way
ceremony.
wedding.
A three-way wedding. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, the tooth situation on that show is unnerving for pretty
There's
much
another
everybody.
character. So you might be thinking like, all right, what are the other characters like? You know, we already dealt with the polygamist. No, there's another polygamist. This man named Doc. Don't think he's a medical doctor or a doctor of anything, frankly.
Yeah, he's not a
has,
doctor
like-
of English.
He's got like 5 or 6 wives in some sort of yoga-based
That's
cult.
way more impressive than having a doctorate.
In some sort of yoga-based cult. Also has hundreds of tigers. Rides around town on a goddamned elephant. Incredibly manipulative. And like, there's a part where maybe you remember this, Taylor, where like he's showing some tigers off for the camera, and one of his wives comes out and like she's got the tiger on a chain, and the chain rubs across his shirt, and he goes, "Oh, well now my shirt's stained because the chain wasn't cleaned properly."
Yeah,
And it's just like, oh, you're in trouble, bitch. You're in trouble now.
you're grounded in your house. Yeah, and that he drives down his like estate where he has his zoo, and he's just pointing like, and that's Meredith's house, and that's Susie's house, and that's Joanna's house.
Not bad
like,
homes.
No,
Not
no,
bad
way
homes.
nicer than the Tiger King's place.
Man's got like $2-3 million worth of homes, easy.
Must. Yeah, it's hard.
He's in Myrtle Beach.
Is that
You know,
okay?
Yeah, Wings lives right next to this guy, by the way.
Oh, he should go. He should go. Like
He
Twitch
should
stream or
go.
vlog that.
Imagine now that would be a popular.
That would be
fucking
content. Oh my gosh! He should go.
Do
to-
it, Wings.
thing. He should go to the fucking Tiger Park.
Is it open? No, at the end of
No,
the
probably
show,
not.
they were saying like, you know how they do little updates. It was like, in December 2019, some sort of authorities like went in and inspected Doc Antle's zoo or whatever. So maybe it's not even open. If it is,
No.
though, Wings,
let me check real quick. I guarantee. My guess, 100% open.
Help me with the woman's name, Carol something.
Carol Baskin.
That Carol fucking Baskins.
So Carol Baskin.
I hope that she dies. Like, how many times did he say that on camera?
Dude.
A billion.
Everyone hates Carol Baskin. Everybody hates Carol Baskin.
So
There are
hateable.
people in America who've decorated their homes to the hate of Carol Baskin. This Tiger King thing has swept the nation. All right. I'm going to be contrarian here. Are we sure she's the worst person on this show?
Yeah,
Yes, she's not even funny.
Okay.
she's the worst person on the show, and that is really saying something. Okay, there's the one guy who's like literally a criminal and stole the zoo, right? And I don't know who's dressing him. Hello, fellow kids. I'd like a new wardrobe, please. With his fucking fake ass Ferrari and his rented mansion and his skinny jeans with
Oh,
3
Jeff.
layers of tops on top,
Joe
the
Huey?
do rag and
What's his
hat
name?
combo.
Joe
Jeff
Hall?
Name's
Lowe.
Jeff.
Jeff Lowe.
Jeff Lowe.
Yeah.
Good job.
Huge con man, super fucking gross, so gross. That dude is like a rough 50 years old or something like that, and like dressing like he's at the X Games or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got like a bandana on under his hat, and then like a leather Letterman jacket looking coat with a goofy.
He wore a
expensive
black
suit.
Oakley hat to that funeral, and and you didn't even notice it or think anything of it because Joe Exotic wore a fucking chaplain's collar to that same fucking funeral, and it was his husband's funeral.
He was
Wearing a
his
cowboy
own,
hat and a chaplain collar and talking about the man in the casket's balls.
Yeah,
How he'd rub them golden nuggets all over my face.
Is that what he said?
that's
Yes!
what he said. He said,
Okay.
and even when I was stressed out, sometimes he'd come right over. I'd be working on something, doing a call, and he put those balls right in my face. And his like mom's in the front row of a kid who just died, and it's like this is. All of you are reprehensible.
There's a
People,
part
you
where a
just-
guy pulls up in some sort of a 3-wheel like hot rod type scat wagon, and
Yeah.
there's a skeleton riding shotgun, and it doesn't even occur to you to question it at this point because things are already so insane. I'll give you another one. The crocodilians that were burnt alive in the arson fire,
Mm.
they don't even bother telling you that those belong to Michael Jackson because
Really?
it's already so insane you don't even need that information.
So I think like we can go through our predictions on this. You know, this isn't really a spoiler show, but I guess we've already been talking about it.
I don't
So
think you can spoil this shit.
Yeah,
First
you
of all,
can't really. You really can't.
it's,
yeah.
I'm telling you, like we've touched on a few key points. There's dozens of more shocking moments. Dozens.
It is. It's one of the most entertaining shows I've watched in a long time. But I think that he definitely did not hire a hitman to kill Carol Baskin. I think that Jeff and that other guy set him up with it because it just doesn't. And ironically, it was that sociopath looking Doc Ansel guy who was like, "No, of course I don't think that Tiger King did any of this. He's not smart enough for that." He's smart enough to know that you don't hire a new friend who's now screwing you over's former business partner for $3,000 to go kill someone. It doesn't make sense. How are people buying this?
Wait,
and I was like,
was he just not smart enough and too smart in the same argument?
Yes.
it was, yeah.
That's the thing, though.
He
That's the
was
thing.
saying
There's
like,
levels to this
he's
shit.
he's not smart enough to orchestrate a grand thing, which is kind of what they were trying to accuse. But he's too smart to do this tiddlywink nonsense that they're trying to pawn off as a grand conspiracy.
I think
if that makes sense.
My thing kind of fits Occam's razor, I think, but I think he did do it, and that Jeff Lowe goaded him on. That he kind of.
Oh yeah, they set him up.
They just goaded him on. They kind of encouraged him to go down this path, and he did. And then he's the only one that got in trouble.
Yeah. He
And
took
Carol
the rap for
Baskin-
everybody. Carol Baskins absolutely killed her fucking husband. She absolutely.
I think she fed him to tigers. I think that, that would be my guess.
They reopened that case in real life.
Oh, I like the memes of her with a teardrop photoshopped on under one of her eyes.
Because the other guy that he hired to do the killing also had the teardrop tattoo,
So
and that meant he killed someone.
Oh, I just followed that. Carol Baskin, she was the animal rights side of this, right? And then they looked at her tigers and they said, what's so animal rights about this? Your grass is too tall, this and that. And then they also knocked her for only having 10 tigers.
Only showing 10. Where are the rest of those tigers at?
That made
I think they knocked her for that because she claimed to have hundreds.
Right.
Yeah.
But if there were only 10 tigers that we could find, maybe these tigers had better enclosures, right? Joe Exotic really did keep his animals in tiny cages. At the very end, he's like, yeah, I feel kind of bad. I have these two chimpanzees, by the way, they're like children, in cages next to each other for decades. And now they're taken from me. They're near each other, and I saw them hugging. They could have been friends all this time, but instead they were in cages, separated, and maybe I was bad for doing that. Yes, you were bad for doing that.
Well, that's what he said. He's like, was I wrong for doing that?
Yeah, he had 187 tigers.
But then he said
187 tigers. They were in like little dog poop training kennels, right? Like
tigers. Am I the only one here who doesn't give a fuck what they do to those tigers? Like I don't care if they're fucking them. I don't care if they're torturing them. I don't care if they're butchering them and serving up tiger steaks in there. I hope that pizza
I just
had
want
some
them
tiger in it.
to be breeding the biggest tigers.
That's
That would be
important.
cool.
That's important. I that's why I liked when I
Or
saw
make the
Doc had a
biggest
liger.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
They had the liger. Doc had a liger.
Multiple. But you
They get
can't. But
enormous.
ligers can't.
he was
ligers can't
hilarious.
reproduce.
He was like, you can't call him a liger, or the animal rights guys get all mad at you. But we got him. Or I forget how he
But he's
phrased
a
it.
liger.
Yeah.
She goes, well, what is that then? Oh, it's a liger.
Is that how he said it? Yeah.
He was he was the smartest guy in the room.
For sure.
Granted,
Doc.
it's a small room, but Doc is the smartest guy in the room for sure. Like you could tell how manipulative he was when the cameras first showed up, and he's like, "All right, well, let's set it up this way. I'll answer the door, and then I'll greet you, and then you'll come in." And he's, "All right, put the camera over here." He's like directing the cameramen for the documentary, and they're like, "I think he's a better director than you, Dave." Ha 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 ha. And I'm just like, I think he's super manipulative. This is a guy who's a bit of a sociopath. He's thinking 2 steps ahead of everybody, or at least he thinks he is. At least he's trying to be. This is a scary kind of guy.
I keep trying to like stack rank in my head who of the this menagerie of characters who is the worst, and I'll start thinking, and I'll be like, man, but that's pretty fucked up what Tiger King did with those online shows, like shooting dolls of her in effigy, and then threatening to kill her. Oh, but then that one guy, he did like kill someone in the past, and it's like, oh, Carol, she probably killed her husband. These people are all so terrible.
Just because they're murderers. Okay, so I don't draw a big distinction between murder and attempted murder when I evaluate people. They both have the same spirit, right?
Good at murdering you are.
Exactly. But in terms of how good or bad they are,
I admire a man who's good at what he does.
If you're gonna murder, get it right.
So to say that she's the worst because she killed her husband, oh no. There's at least 3 people who have murderous spirits. Jeff Lowe, the Tiger King, and her.
Here's another thing about her. Someone who lives up there in Myrtle Beach, they're like, wait, he picked her up on Jefferson Avenue? Nobody's just walking on Jefferson Avenue. She was hooking. And if you think about the way that night went on, Carol Baskins was a hooker. That's what had happened. He picked her up in the car and took her to a motel and fucked her right away.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Why didn't I think of that?
Well, because we don't know that area. We don't know what Jefferson Street is, but that makes sense now.
I've been reading up on this so much. Like apparently the guy with the black suit and cowboy hat that you probably think is like neutral, chaotic or something, on that scale of like
the director dude who did all the filming. Yeah.
You probably think he's like the coolest guy of them all. He's like, all right, well, he was just trying to make a living here, make a cool reality show. He even said, yeah, this was my retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was like, he was the director at a news program I worked at. He would sell pills in the parking lot, and he would sexually harass the women constantly. He was fired. When I saw him on my television, I felt violated all over again.
What? No, that guy was cool. He just sat there smoking cigs.
You know who was cool, I thought? The guy who had the little monkey that he was constantly feeding the same food he was eating into his own mouth. He was financing the second zoo with Jeff Lowe after like the first Oklahoma zoo had went under. They were getting closer to the Texas border. That guy seemed A-okay. He was just a financier looking for a partner, wanting to get into the zoo business, had a few dozen animals of his own. This Jeff Lowe guy had hoodwinked him, and he had a cool little fucking monkey.
That guy
I want to know that monkey's name.
I also wanted to know more about the monkey guy, but it was funny, like that red-haired bowl cut guy in the beginning, just that whole, I think he was on PKA where he's like, the animal world, now monkey people, they're weird. They're just weird. Big cat people, they will stab you in the back, traitorous, and it's like, it's so funny.
He was so right.
Funny. Yeah, and that guy, he's sitting there like, I'm trying to build the monkey guy. Hey, he has the monkey in his shirt, just sitting in there with the monkey's little head popping out right here, and he's just working a backhoe trying to dig up plots, and he's like, I'm building the zoo by myself here because I got screwed by Jeff. I don't have time for this. And he's like taking a little bit of cucumber and feeding it to his monkey.
So I want to get off the Tiger King soon because I know Queb hasn't seen it. You should watch it. I promise you.
So
you guys
take another day off, Queb.
I'm getting paid for this every download. Coupon code FPS. Every time you watch. Not true. They Am I the only one here who actually Googled how to buy a tiger?
I did not look into it.
Oh, I did not want to own a tiger.
Buy monkeys a lot though.
I like somewhere in the middle of episode 1 when they're just like, rawr! And he's like, yeah, for $1,800 you can get one of these man killers. I was just like, fuck. Ain't no law against felons having Siberian tigers. Let's go.
So are you getting one?
I'm gonna be like Mike Tyson up in here. I got an extra bedroom. He can stay in this room. And just watch. Imagine if he was just peering, like pacing back and forth behind me, looking through bars.
I went down that path with the wolf. I'm not doing it with the tiger.
No.
Yeah, the wolf was also my idea.
Yeah, a bad one.
Well,
a cool one. All right.
I think the castle might have been my idea. I have cool ideas for other people to try.
I think the castle might have been mine.
It could have been, but I supported it fully. In fact, I found you a